I'm really excited to introduce our first set of speakers. Jyotika is a social entrepreneur and is passionate about creating an army of women workforce in India. With the belief that women have the power to transform communities at large, Jyotika strongly believes in heavily investing in women. Professionally, she heads Srujna, a nonprofit transforming women's groups into enterprises that make and sell handmade products. With a background in psychology and social entrepreneurship, her focus has been bringing sustainable change and to be a global change maker. So welcome, Jyotika. We're so happy to have you join us today.
Thank you so much for such warm welcome. I'm really excited to be here.
Good, we're excited to have you. Jyotika is going to be joined in conversation with our own amazing Arushi Grover. Arushi has been with Power to Fly team for a little while. She is our summit coordinator. So all of the wonderfulness you see around you is in large part due to Arushi keeping us all, on track and on task and making sure that the T's get crossed and the I's get dotted. So I'm really excited to listen in on this conversation. Jyotika and Arushi, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Take it away, ladies.
Maggie, thank you. Wonderful job with introductions. Hi, Jyotika. I am so excited to share the stage with you. Jyotika, we've heard your lovely bio, and I love the fact you say transform communities at large. Women have that power. That is a very powerful statement. So, Jyotika, on that note, I want to know what motivated you to start Srujna.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. And I love beginning my interactions with this question, because it gives me the opportunity to say how privileged I am. I have never faced gender inequity, and I'm one of the few people, like the UN statistics says, less than 50% of working age women are in the labor market. And this is a recent statistic. So I am among those 50%, the lucky ones that gets to pursue the dream career or that gets to work at a working age. So that's what motivated me 10 years ago. I was doing MBA in social entrepreneurship, and I was interning with a bunch of rescued victims of human trafficking. Now, these were young girls who had gone through the gruesome act of trafficking, and they were placed in a shelter home for their rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. One day, a 9-year-old comes up to me and says, "Look, you come here to volunteer, you teach English, math, all that is good. But I have no family, no friends, no money, and no education to fall back on. What do you think will happen to me when I'm out of the home? I'll be thrown back to the same place I'm rescued from." And coming from a privileged family, I was shattered. I was taken aback that this is the gruesome world that I stay in, and I have to do something to change it. And that's what motivated me. I went back to the co-founder of Srujna, who also happens to be a woman, and I said, "Hey, look, we need to do something." So we got them together, we trained them in making some fashion jewelry products, handmade products, and we ourselves went ahead and sold it via kiosks, exhibitions, orders, etc. And that was an 8-month journey, which successfully gave some income to 30 rescued victims of human trafficking, which they used when they were out of the shelter home. So looking back, I think that was a very, I would say, changing my life kind of a situation, as well as one of the biggest motivation which has still survived, that I want to see every woman in the working age to be working and pursuing her dream.
That is very, very deep, Jyotika. Wow, a 9-year-old igniting that fire in you. And you're right, financial freedom is a different sort of freedom, right? Once we give the power to someone to be like, you can make money, you have that ability to, and they are on a rocket since then, because that ability to just believe in oneself is, I think, such a strong thing that we can walk away from this lesson clearly. So in that journey that you had as a social entrepreneur, that even being a woman in India, let's be real, what were the hurdles you faced in this entire journey?
So I think I still face the hurdle, because I have to answer the question, what are the hurdles I face being a women social entrepreneur? And I think women all over the world face this hurdle. Mm-hmm. Firstly, we are not taken seriously. So when we started as an organization of women, and now 95% of the team members are also female, we are not taken seriously. It is being asked regularly to us that this is good, that you do good work and charity. Is it for your part-time, or do you do it as a hobby activity? I like, no, this is my serious career option, and you can make a career out of it. You can earn out of it. And people would just show us off and say, yeah, good for you. Like, they would give us a thumbs up. So starting 5 years, I clearly remember that I had to work hard doubly as compared to a men would, to build that credibility and trust that, hey, we are here to do some serious business. And the second thing is, now that I face in these 5 years, in the later part of the journey, is being taken seriously for growth. So when I talk about growth, when I talk about numbers and expansion, people will say, hey, slow down, you're a woman. Aren't you thinking about settling down or starting your own family? And wouldn't that put a stop in your career? I like, no, would you ask men the same question? So I don't think I need to answer that. And no, we are seriously thinking of numbers. And being a woman, I'm proud to say that I love numbers and I'm very aggressive, as men call it, to chase after these numbers.
Jyotika, you have said a lot of great things in that sentence. I'm going to slowly unpack this. You know, when we talk about nonprofit organizations or as a social entrepreneur, no one takes that seriously, which is really interesting because they actually, like you said, is it a hobby? Is it part-time? Oh, you'll get bored of it. Oh, you'll slowly want to go into a real job, right? And that's why. Why do we have that question assigned whenever we think about social entrepreneurship? The other thing that you said about being aggressive, that is a very interesting point because now when you're stating facts and now when you are putting against these sort of judgments and things that people and men especially are saying to you, you suddenly become aggressive. Why? Why again, right? I mean, just because you have the facts to prove what you're trying to say doesn't make you aggressive. It just makes you more data driven, right? So again, changing that mindset and that conversation is such a difficult thing. And I'm thinking because my background I'm an Indian too. So I understand that these are the challenges in India. And what are you doing to sort of, break free from this in your society in India? How are you combating with men in this society? And do you think they're on your side? What is their outlook? I mean, we've already uncovered the aggressive part and like the part-time when you're getting settled and married because suddenly now your biological clock is ticking apparently. So what was the role of men in your growth so far?
So when you ask about men being supportive, I would say answer is yes and no. So in the starting 5 years, when they saw us a very small organization doing some good work, they were very supportive. And some of them are still supportive, I would say. But majority of them changed tunes when we started growing and, as I said, aggressively expanding. So then they would be like, hey, you do realize that you'll not be able to put up with this or you'll not be able to take it full time. Or this is not a social enterprise, like this is a not-for-profit. Why don't you treat it as a charity? So I think that is one of the things that I'm working on very persistently. One was I was very consistent and resilient no matter what I had to make it through. Look at the statistics. You correctly said India is in the bottom 12 countries when it comes to women's economic participation or even women empowerment. So we really have to work hard to change that status. And we are doing it one woman at a time. Secondly, when it comes to numbers, I have to prove that even though the model is registered as legally as a not-for-profit entity, why do I think of it as a charity? It's not a traditional charity. It's a not-for-profit platform. So I will treat it as a business. And that's the time when men started thinking, oh, she is thinking it as a business. In fact, on a lighter note, one of the friends very casually said to me that now you're a businessman. Because till now you are a businesswoman doing it very slowly, but now you are showing it to the world that you can also take the business like a man and taking it ahead. And I took it as a joke, but it was really cruel to hear that, yeah, this is what the world thinks.
Wow, it's making me angry. I know at that point it's like we go into the system, we were laughing about it, but we're also like, how can you even think that? Like, what? Wow. So now you're a businessman. Congratulations on your new role, Jyotika, because you've been promoted. So oh my God, that makes me so angry. Okay, so coming back to now being a businesswoman, because that's a new role apparently that you have. But what does Srujna mean? What was, I know we know about your story about the 9-year-old and how she inspired you, but what is the meaning of Srujna? Hindi is such a beautiful language. Is this in Hindi?
It's actually a Sanskrit word, which means to create new energy. And I think that's what we have been doing for the past 10 years now. It's a decade of creating new energy among women. So yes, we have been relating it to the model as well.
Amazing. Creating new energy. That's a lovely meaning. So, what is the model focus? What was your original vision for Srujna, and what is the, energy that you're creating?
So one of the things that I think Srujna stands for is to create new energy, and the model has created new energy over a period of time. As I said, when 10 years ago we were working with rescued victims, we were directly working with them, training them, upskilling them, and taking their products to the market. We were the ones who were selling it. Then when we researched along, we found that there are so many women's group out there, registered, unregistered, who are making some lovely handmade products. So handicraft in India is the second largest employing sector. And these were the women who were there. There were buyers who were willing to buy these products, whether they are individuals or exporters. There was just no bridge which was connecting the two dots. So that was the first step. We evolved as an organization. We said, stop reinventing the wheel. We'll not be one more charity, rather we'll become a platform. So we started connecting with women's group across India who made handmade products. And today we are working with 17,000 women and 70 groups in nine different locations of India. And thanks to the pandemic, we were working in the second gear. I think we got pushed in the fourth gear, where we are now also looking at the service sector. So the young girls, I don't expect them to sit on a sewing machine or a food unit making some handmade product. She wants to have a desk job. So we have started training them to be office assistant, end mile deliveries, and a lot other opportunities they can do in their flexible time, as well as earn an income.
Amazing. That's a lot of coordination across India in itself. And I love the pivot that you've been able to do with COVID. So that also challenged you in its own way to think outside of this box and outside of the handicraft sort of realm. That's amazing. So I was doing my research on Srujna and I came across the Make and Market program. Do you mind telling us a little more about this program that you have here?
So Srujna, as I keep on repeating, I look at it as my career, and I love developing social change models, business models. And the Make and Market program is exactly that. We create small micro production unit within the community. Women cannot do a 9 to 5 kind of job. They sort of have to balance their home and their economic responsibility. Mm-hmm. So it is best if we can do some opportunity where they are living. We go within the community, we create this production unit where women come to learn and make and sell their handmade products. So once they are trained, we build their capacities, they make some textile product or food product or handicraft. We connect them directly to the sellers online and offline. And that's where they learn how to become independent. Like they directly connect with the clients. 3 to 5 years of this program, and they are fairly sufficient. They have infrastructure, they have systems in place to run a business, and they have clients to cater to, and we exit the community. That's what our model has been for the past so many years. And we keep on building more and more change agents or change units, I can say, within such communities.
Amazing. So I have a follow-up question for you on that. So if you're in a community, what is a role that you play? So you set up with the production unit, you set them up with the machines, and you provide them with the trainer, right? Is that how it works? And
So as I said, I look at it as a purely business. It's a micro business within the community. The first thing we have to identify is, do the women really want to do this, and is there a need in the market? So the need in the market, for example, during pandemic was masks, and the women knew how to make textile products. So we went in the community, we said, look, we are going to get you some machines, sewing machines. You'd start making masks in bulk. They would make 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 masks. We used to purchase that mask and distribute it for free within the communities. Now we became the client for them. Slowly, steadily, there were many clients who came up. Some designers came up who were pairing the mask with their shoes, giving it free of cost. Or there were some other people who are buying the mask, purchasing it for hospitals, for frontline workers, etc. And slowly, steadily, I think we sold about 3 lakh masks in the period of 6 months. And all the women who are sitting at home doing care responsibility actually got work and they earned an income. So these are the power of micro production unit, because it was within the community. They didn't have to travel far. They had all the systems in place. They maintained the finances, and now they have clients also.
That's a very powerful thing you said. So micro community, I want to kind of focus on that a bit. So going back to, is that a challenge that you see for a lot of women? If you don't actually reach their community to give them the resources and, help them get out there, do you think there's a bit of a hesitance from their point, because again, the whole idea is that women can't work. So how do you sort of change that switch in their head, and how do you like get them out there?
Absolutely. It's a big, big hurdle. As I started my conversation, that less than 50% of the working age women are in the labor market. So it doubles in India because there is a permission culture. They have to take permission of the male members of the family, either father or a brother or a husband, to go out and work. So it makes much more sense if the work is within the community. They can say, look, I'm just walking 2 kilometers. I'll be back to take care of the family. I will cook food. I'll take care of the children and then do my work. And it is giving me supplementary income also. I think during the pandemic, the focus shifted because the men lost all sources of livelihood. So now it became even more urgent and important that women started earning. Prior to COVID, women were coming there and they said to the home that, like, they informed at home that they are going for work. Some of them didn't even inform. Once they started earning a steady income of INR 1000 or some money, they went back and said, look, I have earned my first salary. And that sort of raised their decision making power in the house, their self-esteem. The men started looking to them differently, that they are not doing time pass, they are actually going and doing some serious business, and then they started supporting. So we have seen that change cycle take typically 5 years, 7 years, in some cases even eons. So to men to come on this side, that let women go out and work.
Permission culture, and I almost have to prove ourselves that, hey, look, I am able to make money, take care of the kids, look after you, because apparently you can't do that. So that is right. That's, yeah, wow, okay. So that's coming back to that. So the COVID actually helped shape Srujna for the better in a lot of ways, because it now forced women to sort of put themselves out there, and men, whether they liked it or not, had to give permissions to their wives to go out there and work. So what else have you pivoted into? I know that you were looking into service industries, especially for the younger population, but have you considered going into a digital literacy model, because everything now is online? How many people are using handicrafts to that extent? It's almost like a novelty rather than like a first point of, I want a handicraft for my home, right? So how have you pivoted during COVID?
So COVID has been a blessing in disguise, I would say. Although the domestic violence cases and women burden of unpaid care responsibility has tripled during the COVID pandemic, but I would still say it's a blessing in disguise, because it also showed that women need to earn now. In fact, prior to COVID, we had started digital literacy in a very small format, and very few women had access to it because they were not taking it seriously. The smartphones were there with the women, but they used to use only for WhatsApp or maybe Facebook at the most. Now, during the pandemic, the first thing that we did was get all our trainers, get all our leaders, and train them into how to use video conferencing services, whether it be Zoom or Google Meet or any of other application. They learned that. Once they learned that, we started teaching them the banking applications, because they had to use finance. We taught them all the Google application. They could go online and search. It is so wonderful to see that one of our trainers, she's semi-literate and she barely speaks English, but she has her store on Instagram. So she clicks photograph of the handmade product that she makes and she puts it up and writes down the price below that. So that is the change that I saw. And as I said, from second gear to fourth gear, we were pushed because we had no option. We had to reach out to more women. And in fact, from 5 location to 9 location, we have jumped during COVID. From 8,600 women to 17,000 women, we have shifted during COVID. So I think that is the shift that we are done. Now we are coming up with a tech training platform, wherein on our website itself, there would be videos and podcast of the capacity building that we are doing. Women can go online and download it and learn it at their own flexible time, because not everyone has access to internet at the time when we are running the training program. So that would be the next big step, so that all women across India can access these training programs.
That was my follow-up question for you. How do you sort of tackle this digital divide between societies? And especially, I'm assuming your target is obviously a lower class of society. So is internet data readily available? How do they have access? So applications such as WhatsApp being the most popular and Facebook, you're sort of able to have those bundle offers, right? But when it comes to something like Zoom or, even just accessing the web page, you need more data, or even Instagram for that matter. So how are you sort of tackling as a company? How are you sort of helping them gain power in this digital divide?
So we have started our interventions in urban and semi-urban setup where availability of internet and Wi-Fi is higher as compared to the rural areas. So I think it's fairly available. During the like lockdown, we did not have much access to women who could be able to go online and do all the stuff. But now, since the restrictions have lowered down, most people are getting vaccinated. We have all the internet and Wi-Fi access in our units. So women can come there, they can access. We are planning to have laptops in each of the unit that we are working with so that at least they can go online, they can access these training programs. I think one of the internal motivation these women have is now the education has become online. So their children are sitting at home and missing out on schools. If they are not digitally literate, they will not be able to teach to their children. So there are so many women who come up to us and say that I really want to invest into this. Let me know how. And thanks to the network providers, I think internet is accessible in urban, semi-urban, and rural communities. So I don't think it would be a challenge going forward. And we, as I said, are heavily investing into tech training platform, which will have access to offline training programs as well, assessments. They can just get in touch with our team and say, look, I went through the video, but can you explain to me in detail? So that is the hybrid model that we are coming up with.
Amazing. And when these trainers are making these videos, did you also face sort of was there a hurdle in that case, because now you have to train the trainer in order to be digitally literate? So how is that working out?
So till now, these trainers are also from the community. Like the women we worked in the first 5 years, they now come to a level that they can train other women in the community, and we hire those women only. So they were like, we would go in the community, no matter even if it is like COVID times, we don't care. We want to reach out to women. So we literally had to change our mindset that, look, I know you are compassionate and you are ready to risk going to the community, but why not try this more? And we had to show them the bigger picture that sitting in Mumbai, you can probably train someone who is sitting in Kashmir, like across the border. So why not? Why are you not thinking on those channels? So we had to deal with shyness. We had to deal with their apprehensions and being anxious or being able to speak online. And via multiple sessions and practice sessions, the trainers are ready. And I'm proud to say that we have almost like 100 trainers who are ready right now, close to 100 trainers. And these 100 trainers are further going out and training. I think our target is 15,000 women. So we'll reach there.
Amazing. So first you had to tackle the trainer and train them. So you were going back to them because they were they were ahead in the game. They've been there for so long, but now they're almost set back and you have to retrain them to go forward. Wow. And that's all it takes sometimes, a little step back to go way forward in life, right?
Steps forward, absolutely, yes.
Right. Oh my God, this is amazing, Jyotika. You're dropping so much knowledge and so much empowerment here. I wish I had an opportunity to work with you, because I am sure the women around you are so inspired each and every day by the work that you do. As an organization and as our viewers are watching online, how can we continue to support this model? What is it that you need from us? And, how do we keep this going? How do we keep that wheels churning for Srujna?
I would have three simple requests. One is today it is a digital era. So we obviously are on all social media channels and we have a website. It is my humble request to everyone who is attending this that please go visit our website, get our Instagram page, follow us, like us, because we are regularly updating all of it out there. We also have YouTube channel where we are posting videos of the stories of women. So in fact, I am inspired every day by the female that I work with and all of them. And those stories are out there. Second is volunteer. Please come ahead. Again, the digital era gives us an opportunity. Any part of the world you are there, we want you to teach our women how to use smartphone, which comes very easily to us, but it is a really life-changing opportunity for these women. So please come forward for English speaking, digital literacy, and very simple things that you can do via your home. And third is, again, I would go back to spreading the word within your communities for mindset change, which is the biggest hurdle we face. That simple things of change of words, like don't use the words like businessman and businesswomen. Why can't we call ourselves business person? Right. I mean, come on, it's high time we change the word, and do write to us about all these inspiring stories of change that you are doing, and we will post it on our social media so that we can create a community of people who are there for gender equality. We firmly believe that economic empowerment paves the way for gender equality, and all of you can be just part of it via these three things, like liking us, volunteering for us, and creating your own community change stories.
Amazing. Simple measures from our end can have such a great impact in the other part of the world, right? On
Absolutely.
that note, I have a question from the audience from you. So Nirupa asked, what advice do you have for us to support Indian women globally? I know we have to be mindful of time, so just a quick spiel for us, Jyotika.
I already said the three things that you can do. One is record your own stories of change. So if you're working somewhere, please record it and send it to us. We would show it to our women that, look, women are able to do this, balance their home, their children, and able to do work. So it sort of motivates them. And second is, we would love to host sessions of these powerful women for our women, where they can ask and interact with them and ask questions. So do write to us. Website has all our details, our email credentials as well. So get in touch with us. We will have a detailed discussion of how we can work collaboratively to change this.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jyotika. Before we wrap up for the day, I just want to know, I know we learned how we can support you, but how can we connect with you specifically and keep this conversation going? Please drop any sort of place for you, LinkedIn, email, anything that we can connect with you further.
Again, on Srujna's website, my LinkedIn page is there. You can just go there and click on us and other trustees as well. And you can just connect to any one of us, and we would be happy to get in touch with you.
Amazing. It has been an absolute honor, Jyotika, to talk to you today and learn so much about Srujna. I look forward to volunteering and supporting you moving forward, and I really hope our audience does too. This is why we have our summits, to empower, educate, and support one another. So I really urge you to take that move, everyone, whoever is joining us today. Meg, it's over to you. Thank you so much, Jyotika.
Thank you so much.